the Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn. And you're stinky.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys, just some boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. I am Patrick Basquill, and I am a rotten bunch of bananas waiting to be kicked.
And I'm John Gilardi, and I carry $1,000 on cash minimum, just so I can avoid situations like this.
Yeah, and today we're going to be talking about the most recent addition to the Nicolas Cage pantheon of films. Oh, fuck. No, wait. He just put out another one this year, right in between when we were recording this and when the podcast came out. So now it's the second most recent one.
Yep.
Late to the party again when you're with Nicolas Cage.
Well, this time we're on time.
I know. I was more because I looked. Anyway, we're talking about
Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's
it's your
Wonderland.
Birthday. Da, 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 da.
Welcome to Willy.
So obviously, it's kind of the FNAF movie, the off-brand FNAF movie that got made, and I think it right off the bat, which I always say, is I think something like this needed to be made to do it the gory way, because who knows how sanitized and kiddie the official branded FNAF will be.
Yeah.
So I just want to get that out of the way. So I'm glad it exists, I guess, to a degree, because who knows how sanitized and weird the
I mean, I'll say it's like
FNAF one will be.
Mainstream media has been
They've been on point with adaptations,
recently, especially
very recently,
and also they've like if the bloodline is like a bloodline like FNAF, where it's like, hey, this is fucked up and bloods and like jump scares.
Yeah, it'll stick to what made it.
Yeah.
It'll stick to the source material. It'll probably rely on that stuff.
Yeah.
To make it to push the boundary, I guess.
So what's a little synopsis of Willy's Wonderland?
We have Nick Cage. I don't even know if he has a character
He's
name.
the janitor, baby.
The janitor. He's a dude. He's on a road trip. His tires go flat from a spike trap. He gets pulled over. Like a tow guy helps him. Takes him. He's like, oh man, we don't have any internet or any ATM. It's gonna cost you a bunch of money to repair this.
It costs you $1,000 up front. Which I'll tell you, kids. If a mechanic is like, give me $1,000 up front to fix your car, don't go to that mechanic.
Yeah.
You pay once the job is done.
But if you're in Hayesville, you have no options.
Yeah, well, then I guess then they've got you, and you've got the thing. But as a rule, don't pay up front.
No. It's like one of the age-old cliches of getting ripped off by mechanics.
Yeah.
No discredit to any mechanics out there.
They know shit that I don't know.
Yeah, and they take advantage of it, which good on you, I guess. Maybe not. But so the mechanic then's like, hey, well, if you can't pay for it, I might have a job for you, and the job is essentially to clean Willy's Wonderland
I
so
think
that
that's
it can
the
get
best shot right here in the beginning. That wide shot, I think that's the best shot in the whole movie.
Really?
I think so personally.
Huh.
Sorry.
And then so the gig is for him to clean up Willy's Wonderland, which is a Chuck E. Cheese, Five Nights at Freddy's, Freddy Fazbear's kind of little pizzeria themed restaurant. And we come to learn, it's pretty obvious from the beginning, that he's essentially a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And the town is bringing
the mechanic pretty much winks at him. The mechanic is like, but we've got nothing here. Why don't you we can have you work it off.
There were elements of this pretty much besides Nick Cage and Tex McAdoo. He was okay. He was a caricature, but like all the other actors, everyone felt super Thanksgiving.
I was gonna fucking say that.
It was weird.
I was gonna fucking say that.
It was a super weird tone. It's a $5 million budget movie, by the way. Probably a lot of it went to Nick Cage.
Yeah.
And he probably jumped on board too because he didn't have to memorize anything. He just was on set and they probably directed him on the spot. I'm just gonna guess. But with that said, it's a low budget film, and again, a lot of it probably went to Nick Cage, and you can tell with the supporting cast. The policewoman, she's been in a lot. She has been a lot. She's pretty prolific, but her performance wasn't
it's
great.
Strange
it felt
to me.
very B movie campy, amateur.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. I'm gonna let you keep talking.
No, go.
No, I have it's like we should talk more about this movie before we get into what I think about it.
Okay.
Well,
I think what I did like things about it. There's a lot that was weird about it, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I think personally, and I think to me that has a lot of baggage with what Five Nights at Freddy's means to me.
Yeah.
And my fatigue from it.
Mm.
So it was nice to be kind of refreshed in this storytelling, this rendition of it. I actually liked the setup of this. It's super basic with the serial killer and the murdering of the families within the
super happy fun room.
Yeah, and all that. And then the fact that they killed themselves in some satanic ritual and they moved their bodies to the animatronics. Like, to me, that makes so much more sense than the Freddy Fazbears. And I think it's great. And I think even the diving into the lore is a great homage to these kind of games too in itself. And I don't know if that was intentional. But that was cool because that's really self-aware of honestly why Five Nights at Freddy's is even popular, which to me is stupid. Is that that is vague lore and people love trying to dig in and find out what's going on. Which
people love Easter eggs though. Like think about
I think it's cool but it's not for me. And a lot of jokes are that Scott Cawthon just puts things in there and then lets Matt Pat make the story. with
that's like
theories.
the YouTube guy who like
video
does the
game
thing
theory.
with it.
And I guess that's where the frustration comes from. And then obviously there's a lot of fatigue with the fan base of JT Music constantly asking for FNAF stuff. And so with that, I really liked FNAF.
It was like a palate cleanser?
Yeah, so it was a kind of a palate cleanser. And I do like Nick Cage. He doesn't like bring a lot besides being Nick Cage and being a little weird.
Yeah, I think he brings a lot more.
I think he brings a lot because he's Nick Cage. I don't know.
I don't
Maybe I
know.
need to walk back on that statement, but he does a great job. I guess he doesn't. I don't know.
It's
hard to.
It's hard to say because and this is sort of like touching to the thing. It's like by taking his voice away, and like kind of like one of the hallmarks of these like campy, schlocky, fucking
Just stupid lines.
Yeah, is like the like, hey, I guess I'll make some boots out of you. Like if he says to the crocodile, you know, or something like that. And then
most he has in terms of expression is the soda drinking, which doesn't get addressed. I thought he was a robot, and I thought this was some like super like.
See, that's that fucking Easter egg though in your brain where you're like trying to go far.
But I like that it wasn't addressed. I guess maybe like he's super, like he's got a tick and he needs to drink that soda or something, or the soda gave him the power is kind of what I was digging because it was like pop punch or punch pop.
Punch pop, yeah, I think. I mean, it's punch.
Yeah, and
then it has pop on it.
Mm-hmm. And then so there's the soda, and he starts playing like halfway through the movie. He starts playing the arcade. It's kind of sexualized, and like there's a lot of tension. I guess. Like he's building towards a climax. Is the vibe I got? Like he was just kind of edging.
Yeah.
And then the other most expressive thing that he did, besides blank stares, which I wouldn't even count, is a slightly less blank stare with the girl character. And I couldn't understand what that moment was that they kept having.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was a father-daughter thing. I didn't know if there was
I read it
chemistry.
as father-daughter.
Yeah. But it's just like it's obviously supposed to be father-daughter, but there's nothing there.
Yeah.
To substantiate that besides their age gap and their size.
Yeah.
So it feels bizarre because obviously like I don't know. There's no sexual tension between them. There's nothing, but there's like, you know what they're getting at, but it's not being done well. So you're still like, what are they getting at?
Because you don't need, and the thing is like, I don't think you need to have him say words to do stuff.
I like how his bag is a canvas sack.
It's just
Who
a
fucking has
sack.
a canvas sack?
There's not going to keep his sodas cold either.
No.
That's the thing. It's like, those are warm sodas he's got. The first time he's got cold sodas is when he puts them in the thing, like when he puts them in the fridge at the place.
Also, when you're traveling, you got drinks. Like I know tons of people that keep a case of water in their car for whatever reason. Like you keep that in the back seat.
Yeah.
So you can reach that arm back. You can do that kid hitting hand, like you reach back to hit your kids.
Just get out of here.
You do that like back reach to the back seat to grab your water, your soda. Like you're not putting that in your trunk. I get it's like.
Yeah.
It's just like little filmmaking kind of movement.
Yeah.
to kind of have him go to the trunk and like just
Well,
that
and-
kind of whole dynamic. But
And part of and this kind of like touches on like a part of the reason I wonder if Nick Cage has no lines is because sometimes there's like a SAG minimum for like a featured character with no lines. And so like the more lines you get, and I know that I don't know how this plays because I mean he's Nick Cage, he could probably play it however he however he wants, and be like his agent's gonna be like, hey Nick, will you do this for $250,000? And he's like, yes or no, whatever.
is he the one that's like doesn't manage his money well?
He doesn't manage his money well, but I went through because I was looking, and I wonder if do I have my phone? Yeah, I do. Because I was looking when I was doing like sort of research for this, because I was just like so intrigued by Nick Cage, because there are just so many movies that he's been in, and I kind of did a breakdown. In 2020, he was in 2 movies because it's 2020, 2021. He's already had this one movie come out.
Yeah.
2019, 6. 2018, 6. I'll preface this. I don't need to go through the whole list. I can.
Yeah.
I wrote it all out because I was like, I can't believe he's been in so many movies. But he has been working since 1981. He has 1 year since 1981 where he hasn't had any movies come out. And it's 1985. From 1986 to 2021, he has had at least 1 movie come out every single year.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He's amazing. I guess he's an amazing guy, but he's a fascinating guy because he's a Coppola, and he changed his name so he didn't get opportunities just by the virtue of that. Which, I mean, ultimately, I think he still was going to.
I mean, for sure. That's how he got his first part in Fast Times.
Yeah.
And after that, they're like, oh yeah, he's Nick Cage, but also he's Francis's nephew or something. But I mean,
he loves being weird. He likes weird roles, and I think a lot of mainstream-ish people, which was me, in terms of the Nick Cage lore and world, kind of just thought him as like this plain, quiet, like not quiet, but like plain, boring dude, like National Treasure and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I opened up the veil and I saw everything else. Well, and because of that, when I saw the clips from Face Off, that was like, what? That's so weird.
Yeah.
But then when you dig deeper and you see all his roles, then you realize this guy's weird and he loves being weird.
Well, and that's the thing that's great about like the difference between him and Bruce Willis, because we've talked about Bruce Willis as Bruce Willis has gone. Like he has sort of the same thing where he's done a bunch of movies and he's done a bunch of but now he's shifted to like those VOD paycheck movies where he's like, he plays essentially the same character where he's like, I'm a badass cop with a bald head,
He just doesn't
and I'm
care.
going to make out with a girl 20 years younger than me, and I'm going to shoot a gun, and I'm going to squint, and I'm going to say as few lines as possible, and I'm going to be bald so that my stuntman can put a bald cap on, and I don't have to do anything. Whereas I'm sure that Nick Cage, there's some of that with this, but I honestly, genuinely believe that he's just like,
He's an artist.
how many weird things can I do?
Yeah.
And he is absolutely unfettered by the level. Like, I think he realized a long time ago, he won his Oscar, but I think he realized a long time ago that he's like, everyone's just artists. We're all trying to do the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone will pay me. I'll just say yes to as many things as I can put it in my schedule because I am in a unique position where I can do whatever I want. I can, because now he can be in Willy's Wonderland, which I don't think is a very good movie. I don't think that it I think it's wasted potential, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, and he could be in whatever because he'll hit with a Mandy, and everyone will be like, oh, he was so good at Mandy, or he can be in whatever.
Yeah, it's like people are constantly reminded, oh, he's good, or he can be good, or he's in these things. I mean, Face Off's a great movie, and
it's a fun movie.
I saw someone saying, I want a modern day Face Off with Robert Pattinson and
Nicolas Cage still.
and Tom Hardy.
Okay.
Like those two guys just like both crazy dudes, and they switch, and then they have to act like the other one, but pretending to be the.
That would be good. I would watch that.
Yeah,
I would watch that. I would be a part of that.
So those of you who don't know,
Face Off.
The moral of this, if anything, at the end is go watch Nick Cage movies. But
Yeah.
Face Off is a movie where he's a crazy dude, like crazy criminal dude, and John Travolta is like a FBI agent chasing him.
Yeah.
And they switch faces and they steal each other's lives, and they have to like, it's just this.
They have to beat each other.
They switch their faces, like it's stupid. But
Yeah.
It's just good.
They
It's
switch
fun.
their whole bodies. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No.
No, I think just face and hair.
No.
And then Castor Troy is his character's
Yeah.
name. It's a John Woo film too. So if you haven't seen a John Woo film, then you're also in for a treat too.
He is absolutely out of his mind, having so much fun.
Yeah.
I think the thing is like I was. How did I feel about this movie? I was a little bit disappointed. Because it's like you say to me, Nicolas Cage in a movie, and I'll be like, it'll probably be fun. He does a thing. Then you say Nicolas Cage playing some random dude who fights off sentient animatronics. And I'm like, fuck yeah, give me that shit. That's fucking fun as hell. But, I mean, it really does. I have it in my notes. It's like Thanksgiving, but like a little bit better. And it's got Nick Cage, so it's got like that grounding element. It has that strength.
Yeah. Well, I like,
but
I do like the cadence of the film to a degree.
Yeah, it moves well. I think that's the reason I like it, and that's what I put on it as like before I like jumped into like my thoughts and feelings on it as like a sort of wasted potential. Is I was like, I like it because it's fun and because it moves.
Yeah.
And it doesn't ever take itself too seriously, so that it's like oh, I'm missing out on something. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. But like, so it is fun. I think that for a movie that's an hour and 20 minutes long, essentially, it's like, yeah, fuck yeah. Nick Cage beats the shit out of some stuff. But I think that there's a lot of wasted potential because Nick Cage beating the shit out of fucking animatronics in an abandoned, what do you even call this sort of place? I was trying to think of that.
Theme dining.
Theme diner?
Yeah.
That's weird. That's so weird. But it
was a big thing. It was like the emergence of Disney and a couple other like properties trying to maximize new industries, new verticals with kids. Yeah. And like,
listen, they did it. I remember
theme dining was a big one that came up, and rip to our local Chuck E. Cheese got shut down.
Recently.
Which then made the servos start spinning in my head like, we should get in there. That could be, maybe we could film something in there.
Oh man, that was and then also just talking about Freddy Fazbear, it's just like that was sort of the first project that I worked with you guys on as far as JT, and that's still one of my favorites, just in terms of like.
It's a fun setting, like cards, like shitty businessmen.
Yeah.
And things go wrong, and the animatronics are already creepy. Like it taps into so many good things. Like Scott Cawthon. He hit an accidental home run. Yeah, accidental home run.
Well, and then he just churned it out because I read like an article about him, how he put this game out, and he was like, apparently before he was doing like Christian games.
Yeah, and people were shitting on him.
And then he put out this game or something like that.
Well, yeah, because people were shitting like, "Oh, your
Tell us
animation
the story.
sucks.
Tell us the story, dude.
They look like animatronics." He was like, "Oh,
like, fuck it, dude.
All right, well,
I'll go for fucking animatronics then, bro." But I really liked that. I really liked playing in that. Like I went and I rewatched that yesterday as I was like sort of like, I guess prepping for this, and I was like, man, that was a lot of fun. Again, it was 3 years ago or something like that. So it's like,
that's wild.
Oh man,
I hate the crushing of cans. It's just like a personal thing that annoys me.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I had an ex who did it, but it wasn't even. There's not any negative associations. I just when she would do it, I'd be like, fuck, it's so annoying. I hate it.
Huh.
And then when he did it, I was like,
you're like, why would you do this?
It's just so unnecessary. I get the satisfaction, I guess, but
yeah. I don't know.
It means nothing. It's just
there's
like,
also
whenever I see that though, I'm just like, no, what? Ugh.
Well, it's also like
it's just a me thing. I don't know.
I understand. I mean, I think I crush cans, but I'm more
I crush
cans, but I crush cans where mainly, especially at parties. So it's like
to signify
this
empty.
Is done.
Yeah,
this one is done.
For me, is I pop the tab off, put it in the.
I mean, that's also good.
It rattles.
That's also good.
I'm not saying that's the only way, because I mean that's very legitimate too.
No, but I mean, I also understand like, oh, we're sullying this thing that is gonna get, I mean, it's gonna get recycled anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think to me,
Let's dive into this a little bit more.
Like a stupid trope, like an easy trope thingy.
Yeah.
Like an overdone shorthand, or like it feels like smoking in student films kind of thing. Like it's always fucking there. So if there's a can in a film, an amateur student film, it's getting fucking crushed. And so
I'm pretty sure we crushed a can in the beginning of the Five Nights at Freddy's video.
Probably.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
because
sure
Tony
we did.
crushes it and throws it over his shoulder. But
the thing is like that's, and this kind of leads me to that's what I was going for, was that like cheesy this, and that's why I think there's so much wasted potential with this movie, is because
there's also a huge continuity error.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna, especially because I was launching into my thing or whatever, but I was like, yeah, he definitely, while he's putting them away,
he has a Band-Aid
he has a Band-Aid on,
and then
he gets cut in the same place, and then we have a scene where he puts the Band-Aid on. And again, I think if they're gonna do that, and if that was on purpose, there should have been more.
Yeah.
You know? And that, because that's the thing, is like, this is fun, this is good. Like, yeah, he's smashing it, we've established the thing.
I mean,
but I'm greedy. I want more. Go deeper.
Yeah.
Go bigger on it, baby.
I think like as like amateurish the movie feels at times, I think it's really tight and well. Like even despite that huge continuity error,
yeah,
it still feels like a tight.
It's not.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think the continuity error is that.
It's not a huge deal.
It's not that big of a deal.
I
think what is a huge big deal.
I think it could be an indication of haphazard filmmaking and like bad production, where they had to dip and do things.
But
it doesn't feel like that's the case.
It doesn't feel like that's the case throughout most of the stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I don't know. I was looking because they keep going, like throughout the course of this movie, they have this thing. Also, clearly water in that cup. I didn't notice that before, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because I was like, I wonder, because they keep going back to this like really weird wide angle lens.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really work for me. I don't like it.
I wonder how much of this movie was trying. I haven't seen Mandy, but I've seen the trailers. I wonder how much of this movie was trying to like
pull from that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen Mandy either, but they probably should have gone farther.
Yeah.
Just based off of what I know of Mandy. And that's kind of my thing, is like, yes, it feels like it hits all the beats. And it's like, yes, cool. But think about it when you're watching this movie. And again, I'm sorry, this movie is for rent. It's not for free. And so, like, you're listening to this podcast and we're spoiling it. We're absolutely spoiling it.
Yeah.
But it's like,
you should know what you're getting into by now. And if you're new, I will have framed it with a tweet, I hope. But there's not much to spoil, I guess. And I don't think to this point we've spoiled any of like the cool or whatever, like the set pieces.
Well, and that's
so at this point I'd say we've been spoiler free.
But that's what I was saying, is like,
but if
each of the kills,
if you don't want that,
yeah,
just know that we will get in depth.
We will get in depth.
I would say somehow this is probably the longest we've gone without actually spoiling anything.
Just because Nick Cage is beautiful.
Yeah.
But each of the kills is the same.
I was gonna say the first two fights, especially, are just Nick Cage standing like
punch.
They're just standing stationary. They're just throwing haymakers at each other, which I actually kind of love because it's so stupid.
I kind of loved it, but it's also like let's go the extra step, Let's go the extra mile. If we and like the other thing is too, is that we have all this like we have all this special focus on the pinball machine. Also, I have a theory that he is Tommy from The Who's Tommy, grown up.
Who's Tommy?
Tommy is a blind, deaf, and dumb boy who's a pinball wizard. From The Who's Tommy. Yeah.
Oh, no, my screen name was The Who 1183.
Oh, wow.
I'm a big Who fan. I don't know why that didn't connect.
Wow, I don't know why that didn't connect either. If your screen name was The Who 1183.
I don't know.
Mine was Twizzler Boy 485.
Twizzler Boy?
Twizzler Boy 485, baby. I love me some fucking Twizzlers, man.
I haven't had them in a while.
I haven't had a Twizzler in a while either. But this is a perfect example that I fucking love it, and I wish it had gone further. Because it's like...
Him cleaning?
Yeah. Well, hold on. In this world, if all he needs to clean paint on the wall is Windex or whatever, what kind of, like, what, it's like sort of like a rule that we have in improv where it's like, if this, then what? maybe he just needs spit. Maybe he is just so badass and cool that it works for him. Like, you know, I love that idea, and I don't think that they go far enough in anything. Like, what if, you know, again, he could stay silent the whole time, and obviously this isn't stuff that happens in the movie, but, like, he's so cool. I really think that they need to go, like, real hardcore Superman on him, and, like, you know...
Well, yeah, I think there's some, like,
he makes weapons out of ketchup bottles or something like that. Like, there's no... He just punches them. Like, he's just punching them, punch, punch, punch. What if, instead of that, he makes, like, a hot dog cannon, because the hot dogs have, like... They've become so hard.
Or frozen hot dogs.
Or they're frozen hot dogs or something like that. Or the hot dogs have sat for so long, so they're like nitric acid or something like that, and they like burn, or they become a bomb because they're so full of nitrates.
Yeah.
You know? There's so many different options than just... And I understand the limits of like the budget that you have.
Yeah.
Believe me, I fucking get it. But it's also like... we've got Nick Cage in this movie. How else can we elevate it? You know, if we're not going to have him say any lines, how else can we elevate it?
Yeah, maybe that's what I was trying to touch on when I said it. When I was trying to, like, comment on Nick Cage's performance, because he's solid. He does a great job. But maybe what I was trying to say is he didn't feel utilized to his fullest.
Yeah.
Because, if you've seen his stuff, he's a wacky dude. He's very talented. Like,
he's ready to go for it.
Yeah, you could have taken him to some interesting places, and the most interesting you get is that edging, orgasmic kind of like pinball thing, and then just the brutality, like punching, which isn't even like anyone can do that, more or less. So there's the usage of him. I mean, it has his quirky cheesiness that he plays around with.
Well, and then also it's like it kind of like it. The fact that he can just punch these animatronics and beat them up, it calls into question
how strong they are. Also,
how strong, like how little the fucking townspeople tried. Because that was the thing to me. It's like, yeah, I get, like, I like the idea of just punching them, but also this gorilla that he kills a gorilla because he takes his animatronic mouth and he shoves it with a fucking toilet plunger. I mean, I get it. It's over the top, and he's throwing around with superhuman strength, but...
I mean, it's got to be the soda, but the soda just isn't acknowledged enough besides him having to go drink the soda every time his watch beeps. Like, he ditches the girl because his watch is beeping.
Well, because I took that as, like, when the guy says, oh, you got to take breaks. Make sure you take a break, and he's like, he's got to go take his break. That's how I took it. I didn't take it that's like as like the soda. I mean, I think
I was taking that like he needed the fucking soda, like it was important to his powers or something, and that's why I was thinking like if he's some kind of robot or
I like that.
I don't know. Maybe he's like like an agent of God or something.
Yeah,
but in this. Pop soda is I don't know.
I like that. I actually like that, especially if it's like not acknowledged until like the end, because that's the thing for me and why I watched this movie and I was like, huh, yeah, okay, yeah, nice, fun, and then like I started thinking about it and I was getting like madder, not like oh I'm gonna punch a wall, but like oh man, there's so much stuff that they could have done. All the kills are the same. Like, the idea that this town...
I mean, the gator one was different, I guess.
Sort of.
But they're all hand-to-hand kills. I mean, there is the sword eventually. But they're all... I don't know. Like, there's no, like, traps or, like, cat and mouse things. There's all, like, hand-to-hand, blunt melee weapon fighting.
Which is, like...
But we have eight things that need to die.
And then here's the thing too.
So the turtle, the Mexican turtle guy, he does die differently, but
yeah, because he gets hit by a car at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But the thing is that nobody changes their tactics. Like the other thing is like even if he's like a brute brawler and he just fucking smash them up, he smashes up two of them. Fine, awesome.
Yeah.
These animatronics got to change their tactics. They've existed this long. They're serial killers. They've figured shit out. There needs to be a reason that people are scared of them.
There's also no reason why, unless they need to they have a turn in line to get food next.
Yeah.
Why do they need to be going in one at a time?
Yeah. Why don't they all just come to life at once?
Like there's no rules set, so there's no.
And this
and at first for a while it gets rid of the tension in a weird way because you're knowing like, okay, well, we're on this character, so we're gonna see him to the end. Or
yeah.
We're on this animatronic, we're gonna see him to the end. And then when they're done, then you okay, there's gonna be a new one coming up.
Yeah.
And I've grown up. I'm not as scared as I used to be. Well, I used to be a scaredy cat with scary movies.
Yeah.
But even with that said, I don't think I would have been scared by this movie 5, 10, 15 years ago. Like, this movie isn't scary at all.
Yeah, and I think that's where it fails next to Freddy Fazbear's.
Yeah.
Is because the animatronics are right there. Because to me, the whole time, not the whole time, and I get it, because he's just trying to do his job. I like that about him, where he's just trying to do his job.
He's just trying to clean.
But if he knows that these fucking animatronics are coming after him, even as a superhuman fucking agent of God, I'm going to fucking dismember them.
Yeah.
I'm going to take them apart and be
why is he waiting for that?
Why is he waiting for them to attack him?
Yeah.
If they're just there, why doesn't he just like, all right, I guess are you going to fight me now? No, I guess I'm just gonna take your legs out. I'm gonna take your legs off. I'm gonna pull your head off.
You with this 2x4.
Or I'm gonna staple you into place, or something, you know, and then be like,
or tie them up together so they're stuck together.
Yeah.
Or something, or put noisemakers on them.
Yeah, put like bells on them or something.
I don't know.
But see, that's what I'm saying is that they need to the animatronics needs to change their tactics. Mm-hmm. They need to showcase a supernatural like ability to manipulate the space, you know, because if like
they're already like demons.
Yeah, so it's like why do they need to? Because if his realm is fisticuffs, they need to be like, all right, cool, we're gonna get into your dreams or whatever. We'll put you to sleep with whatever the sleep gas is that they do at some point. It's not even sleep gas; it's just gas.
Yeah.
Where it's like disorienting or something. But it's like, play with that. Let's do some fucking weirdo shit. You know, and that's again where this movie just feels like wasted potential because the animatronics look creepy, but they don't follow through on how creepy they could be because there's no stalking. There's no stalking, and again, I also understand budget, but it's like,
but we also see the animatronics from the get-go. It kind of has to be done, I guess.
But what if they move? That's the thing. That's the thing.
I think that's the
Five
good
Nights.
thing about Five Nights at Freddy is that they're in a storage room.
Yeah.
So you see all the areas, and they look fine, and then the animatronics are in storage because it's shut down. They're not being used, and so that's when it's creepy that they've moved, and you don't see them move.
Yeah.
And they're in creepy locations, looking at you creepy. In this, there's a scene where the chameleon girl is just walking down the hallway saying, "Hey, what's up, bro?
I'm gonna get you."
Yeah, like. And I guess that's the usage of the animatronics feels very like Power Rangers bad guys.
Yeah.
Like just like full wide shots and you see them moving around and stuff where it could have just. And I think that the biggest fault to that is that there's 8 of them, which is cool, I guess. In the sense that it gives a lot of kills and a lot of killers to kill.
But they're all the same kills, so there's no variation.
Yeah, so there's no variation. So it's like, why do we even have that? Sorry, my phone's going off.
Damn, dude, you're fucking cool as shit.
I know. It's all my emails. I leave those on so people think I'm getting texted.
Yeah.
But and it's not even because the animatronics are clearly mascots essentially.
Yeah.
And that doesn't bother me.
No, I mean that's especially what we did. I can't smack that.
But. Just having them move fluidly as much as they do in the open.
Yeah.
It's obviously forgivable that they are mascots and that's how they're choosing to make it.
Yeah.
But it completely gets rid of the illusion of these being robots.
Robots. It gets rid of the illusion of these being robots.
But yeah, so I mean, you see too much of them. I need more Jaws effect. I think you cut it down to a 5-person band instead of 8.
Yeah, well, and then even if you want to do 8, have them be pawns and get rid of super easily, and then they change their tactics, they figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And have them have you have one who's got like a cool tongue or something like that, and that's like barely used. She uses it to snap a dude's neck.
Yeah, there's like two gimmicks. It's the tongue and the sword. The
sword, yeah, but it's like have one of them have like a fucking drill hand. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not writing this movie, but it's like,
or maybe like their hand gets ripped off and it's a robot hand or something.
Yeah, be like, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
or have one that's like maybe you have. Here's an idea: is maybe you have one that's like in the repair shop that you never see, and that's like your big bad.
Yeah.
That way you can have an
Or maybe
excuse.
we never saw Willy. The whole thing, you're like, because Willy doesn't do anything until the final boss fight.
He's just there the whole time.
Yeah, so like, what if the whole time, Willy, where's Willy?
Yeah.
So I don't know, I mean, obviously it would have come down to the final boss fight. I don't know. But so we have the janitor, and then there's a bunch of teens. There's one main teen girl, Liv, and all these. It's presumed that they're all victims of the sacrifice plot.
Yeah,
At least one of them is. And so they're like, "Fuck this place, let's burn it down." And they go to burn it down, and then they're like, "Well, there's a guy in there, let's get him out." And the moral of these kids are so all over the place. Like they're okay, pretty much essentially with committing murder. By leaving him in there and burning it, but Liv is just like,
she's like, no, that's not cool.
Gonna murder a man.
They're like, you're fucking lame.
Yeah,
Liv.
they're like, what the hell, dude? And then so the group of the friends are like, well, I guess we got to go in, and
there's also too many of them.
Yeah, there's too many of them for the. So then you have the killing off of them, and they're all pretty terribly portrayed.
I mean, I don't even know if that they're terribly portrayed or if they're like.
There's just no weight with what they're doing.
Directed?
I guess.
Like it's hard to tell. Like I thought they were gonna have like a weird little love triangle thing with her, the long-haired boy and the short-haired white boy.
Yeah.
Short-haired white boy. Oh, I can't say words right now.
Well, there's the relationships aren't defined.
Well, and their characters aren't defined either, because you've got Scaredy Pants guy, the guy who's the boyfriend of the vixen girl.
Yeah.
He's like, let's get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? And then when she's like, hey, let's go have sex in the fucking serial killer room, and she's
which
like,
they know is a serial killer
which they
room.
know is a serial killer room, and he knows.
He was the most reluctant one, but I guess he really just wants.
And he knows.
Wants to get some.
And he knows that the fucking animatronics are the
alive.
fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that thing's always been there. I just really need to get my nut off right now.
Yeah.
It's like, this is awful. This is not consistent with this character at all.
Well, and then every time Liv or whatever sees her friends dead, she doesn't care.
She's like, oh, man.
And like,
damn.
I'd say it's her fault.
It's definitely, what was the movie we were just watching where it's all, The Mummy.
Yeah.
Where it was all Rachel Weisz's fault. And I was like, oh, shit, yeah. But
she just
and
says,
then none of them fucking go look for them. None of them go look for
they
them.
immediately separate, which isn't clear why they need to do that.
Well, they're just they're having a great time.
I guess they're trying to find a way out.
But the thing that kind of leads me back to this, where it's like these movies, I feel like a lot of times, like Thanksgiving, this movie, they inevitably fail at being the movie that they want to be because they fall victim to the same flaws and mistakes that of the movies that they're trying to make fun of. But it's even worse because it's done with even less like conviction.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're trying to make fun of B movies, or they're trying to make B movies, and they have all of this material to pull from, and then they have these ridiculously inconsistent characters, and then don't make it self-aware, or don't point it out, or don't.
And it's just diluted in that by that nature alone too.
Yeah, well, and they just stack stuff in there, and it's just like if you're gonna have a weirdo sexy person, like the sort of like outmoded like vixen character who's just like, I just love doing some sex, and I'm a girl, so I just love doing it all the time, and it's crazy because I'm a male fantasy, and it's like have them. I was like, have them break up with one boy, and then like make out with the
Make
next
it super
boy.
petty middle school.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
really go for it. And that's the thing. Is like I'm greedy. I really want them to. I really want all this fucking weird shit. Have them break up with one boy in one scene at the beginning of the movie, and then in the friend group they move on to the next boy, and they're making out with them, and then by the time we get to the next scene, they're like, actually, I need to move on.
Yeah.
And then they get back with the other one, and then they break up with that one, and then they go to the new, and then they make out with a girl, and then they go all around, and then they go with the serial killer, and it's just like, this is just my thing. I just have to do this because this is how the world says that I have to be.
Yeah. I have to say, unrelated, but it's just because it's on the screen right now. It's a flashback of like kind of armed agents walking in on to go arrest the serial killer ring.
Mm-hmm.
And in the credits, it says they're ATF.
Yeah, they are ATF. I saw that.
Which, why would they should be FBI?
Yeah.
It's just it's just in the credits, so it doesn't matter. But it was bizarre.
Nah, because they're trafficking. They're trafficking firearms
or explosives and alcohol. Like for those that don't know, ATF is the Bureau of Alcohol, Firearms, and Tobacco and Explosives.
Yeah,
which is not what's going on at Willy Wonderland. It would be 100% be the FBI or some kind of investigation.
Well,
kind of agents would break in to arrest them. That was just weird.
And then it's a costuming thing where it's like
this part I thought was
yeah.
I want to read it.
And then but if they like they just didn't go far enough for me with anything. And I feel like I'll say that with anything, but maybe it's just cuz I'm just greedy, man. I want there's so much potential here. There's so much weird fucking potential to like have some weird improvised weapons because this dude is a fucking master at that. And like just go for him being superhuman.
Look, it could have been like I feel like there's movies with it, but just Dead Rising, those video games.
Mm-hmm.
You could just take any item in the mall and use it as a weapon, but then you could take any of those items and then combine them into these weird things. So like a pole with a bowling ball on an end. So you have this giant mace, or it's just like shit like that. That would have been fun to see, like these cool weapons that he just creates, like zombie killing weapons,
or traps and stuff. You know. And then I think on the other side of it too is like having the animatronics be. I don't need them to be like more like the design to be any more like than what they are. I think it's great. But I think
for me it was the movement and the cinematography around them.
Yeah, I mean this I don't know, man. This movie just feels like a lot of wasted potential for me. Cuz there's a lot of like weird, and then like having the sheriff, another thing that was really cool to me and really interesting was like the sheriff lady finding a survivor and then adopting a survivor.
Yeah, that was not explored.
That's so fucking interesting. And then she still tries to maintain it. I want to see more about that, where she's trying to like, she's like, this is my chance to have a daughter, but I have to maintain this cult ritual thing. Yeah. What fucking hold do these serial killers, these animatronics need to have a much deeper hold on the town.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there needs to be more of a definition of how strong they are. And like if we're in bumfuck Georgia,
they got to be godlike.
Those fuckers got guns.
Yeah.
They would shoot these things.
They would fucking get the ATF, and the ATF would be like, "How
ATF
much
is coming for the Georgians after they're using their machine guns?"
Yeah,
on,
they
make
fucking napalm them.
Yeah, like what is
what
is the power here? Why is there such a threat? You know, and I think that to that level, the storytelling of that is to a child like simplicity of storytelling, like which is dumb because this isn't a children's movie.
It'd be almost better if like he accidentally was in this place. Like here's my setup, because I also hate the beginning. It's very Thanksgiving, except we don't have a close up on a boob.
Yeah,
you know, where it's like it even looks like I was like, oh man, this looks cheap as shit.
Yeah.
I
was thinking like, dang, we could probably get like $4,000 or $5,000 in like a weekend and recreate this opening scene.
Yeah.
And make it look just as good, if not better, without any maybe make it look just as good with $2,000.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we could probably make it look just as good just calling in a few favors.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
it has the classic hallway.
Yeah.
Where
it's definitely built, and then it's got a bunch of Titan tubes on the side.
It's just a L-shaped hallway, and they run and turn the corner, and
they run and turn the same corner.
And then they cut it, and then they reshoot it.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
I mean, which I also love, like, but I want them to go for it. Acknowledge your shit. Like, fucking go for it. If you're gonna have the same.
Well, I think it changes, or it doesn't want to be as like. I think it doesn't.
It wants to be more serious
because it wants to be serious because it wants to be that Five Nights at Freddy's movie for those fans that care.
Yeah.
For the people that actually really do like FNAF.
But how much fucking cooler would it be if they were making fun of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie before it even came out?
I think that's what it needed to be. I think it needed to be the scary movie, like the parody movies.
Yeah.
That come out before the movie comes out.
Yeah.
Because I think it would have
Which it could have been, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you
like,
just really.
Five Nights at Freddy's, like, I don't know if it's just me and fellow content creators due to the unique position we're in, but I think it's almost a meme for being like a goofy thing. Like, that's been maybe it's overdone. I don't know.
This fucking, like, I don't understand. He's like, we're watching the dude have sex with the lady, and the crocodile stands in the corner, and they know all this stuff about the place, and he's like, it's been there in every single corner. And it's like, no, dude, it's a fucking magic animatronic. What is happening right now for you is not that important.
Well, I guess, like, it's like,
but
his desperation to get some is pretty high, so I buy that he's ignoring it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. But that's just me believing a stupid character that they've introduced.
Well, they should have just cut this character too. Like the glasses boy.
Yeah, he's useless.
He's absolutely
also,
useless.
But the set he's in is also really cool.
Well, and
like,
that's
there's a couple sets that they use for just very limited, and I wish we were able to see it more.
But they didn't. But they didn't expo them at all.
Yeah.
Like here's my setup. Here's my rewrite of this movie that I'm pitching. This very, this fucking Nick Cage guy, he breaks down. Maybe he still hits the zigzag or whatever it's called.
Oh, the arcade room is really cool too.
Yeah, the arcade room is very cool. But he still hits the zigzag, but he's got nowhere to go. He's got no cell service.
It's a rainy night. He finds shelter.
Yeah,
he goes in.
And he goes into this place, and he's
but then I think
looking around.
The issue is you don't get the context.
But you don't need any context.
Newspaper clippings.
No, you don't know. These kids go. These same kids.
Oh, yeah. So
they show up. They're like, oh, my gosh, we got to burn it down. Or they can just be kids, in classic horror movie kids. And then we can have like this, the sheriff character. For most of the movie, she's just a phone or something like that, or we just see something like that throughout most of the movie. And then when they get out, the sheriff is there and is like, no, go fucking back in.
Yeah.
Go fucking back in. Like the sheriff makes it seem like, hey, get out, come on, I'll help you get out. Come on, let's go, I'll help you. And they help him out and they're like, oh my gosh, yeah. Come follow me this way, into this. And it leads them right back into the fucking place.
Yeah.
So we get our little like, oh my God, we got away. But then we didn't fucking get away.
And a Stinky Popcorn Boy first said to cut a recording, got a very important phone call.
Yeah.
All's good, but Patrick was in the middle of something.
I was in the middle.
We forgot
I
what
was
you
in
were saying.
in the middle of like rising action. I was just I think that I was just again, I was mainly just lamenting. I was like in the middle of sort of like pitching my thing because like we just could have gone back to the place. I feel like because I'm pretty sure I was talking about how the sheriff could have been like another turn where then we see the impact of this place. Like we go in, we have nothing.
Yeah.
We go in, we have nothing, and then we see through. We get to see the place. We see like the remnants. We see like, oh, weird. There's blood on the wall. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Someone must have done a stinky diarrhea here.
I think like an ounce of denial would be good. Like is an element that's missing.
Yeah.
Because that's like a big element in Five Nights at Freddy's, and the whole like animatronic scariness thing. Even as a kid, is like it's not really alive, right?
Yeah.
That can't be like that's like a huge dynamic and a huge thing to play with. And in this movie, there's no doubt, which is fine, and it owns it, and it lends to the type of movie that it is. But I think it does feel like an element that's missing, or an element that takes away that tension, or that specialness behind the kills or whatever.
I mean, there is no specialness to the kills, though.
Yeah.
There's just no...
Well, it's just like the concept of like eating candy. If you eat candy every single day, it's like whatever. But if you have it that once a week, it's really sweet that once a week.
Yeah.
There's a much simpler way of me
crushing that
up.
can again for you, bud. I did it just for you.
There's a much simpler way for me to bring that. I'm sure there's a name for that. Diminishing returns. There's a diminishing
returns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Candy, diminishing returns. Too much candy, it's not as good anymore. But the same thing, the kills, they lose their oomph. And like the Willy's, the final fight with Willy, I was like,
oh my god,
like,
that was
Willy's
so
like,
fucking disappointing.
He's like, he's given Nick Cage the biggest challenge to this point. He's slicing him up.
Oh, he's gotten him good.
But the fight.
But then he goes away. He doesn't finish him off.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Is like he's just like, I got you good, but I guess we'll see who wins next round. And then Nick Cage is like, I'm gonna go get my sodas and put them in a bag and beat you the fuck hell with my sodas.
Yeah. I don't
and
know
that was it.
Yeah, he has this little shitty canvas bag and just has sodas in it. Oh my god.
And that was it.
And like,
there's just so much wasted potential,
works with bars
bro.
of soap because the soap retains its mass even if it breaks.
Yeah.
The sodas are gonna pop, and
they are gonna pop.
It's gonna be a wet sack of metal, which it'll lose its weight.
It'll lose its weight, but what if it then like becomes? What if it then like is like sharp and it becomes like a little bit of a mace and you get pieces poking out and it becomes like starts cutting them up?
Yeah.
It's just. I
think there's a serious lack of dismemberment too.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not even saying that facetiously. Like the guy, when they're having the sex scene, the alligator comes up and bites the guy's arm. And it's a perfect opportunity to have like an arm getting ripped off shot.
Yeah.
Just something campy and cheesy, but no, it's just a super bloody, not like nibbling shot.
Yeah. Well, and then our buddy.
And then the girl was killed off screen, which I think you were robbed of that because they just don't have another creative way to make it interesting.
Which is crazy because there's so many, like, that's a cool shot. Him kicking that door absolutely off the hinges, that's cool. But the thing is, all right, so we see her and she's just bloody.
Yeah.
She's just bloody. She's got blood on her. And she was bloody in the scene before. There's the only thing that leads us to believe that she got killed by it is that she's now closer to
the dead body.
The dead body with blood. But it's like, no, like rip her face off or something. Dude, like have her head be in 2%. Like he kicks the door off and the head greets them.
Yeah, I mean, there's no special effects gore gimmicks besides the guy getting stabbed through the chest.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah,
which is
because the guy with the glasses just gets mobbed and it's like a over the top shot and they're getting nibbled.
They're like, oh, he's nibbling on them.
And then this guy dies from nibbling. And then I mean the long haired boy gets killed with a neck snap, but that isn't even. I'd say a neck snap's a pretty clean and cheap way to kill someone.
And the thing is, too,
in
is
terms
like
of movie making.
The thing that's tough about that, as terms of like visuals, is that they've got the effect on his neck, and then like the actress, whoever's in the suit, does like a little, hey, I'm twisting my thing, and the thing on his neck doesn't move, but his head moves, and he's like, oh, my neck is snapped and I'm dead. We'll see it here in a second.
But that's just weak.
I mean, but that's the thing is like, that's what this movie should be fucking starring.
Yeah, and
this movie should
the killing needs to be. This movie is about killing. Killing is a theme in this movie. You have literally
make it interesting.
Everyone in this movie dies except for 2 of them. Literally everyone, and it's like a 22 person cast with including the animatronics.
Yeah,
and they all die in pretty lame ways. Besides the girl, the woman, the cop does get cut in half. So got to give him that.
Yeah.
But besides that, how does the visiting cop guy?
He gets pulled out of the car and he's got cuts on his neck and he dies or something like that. It's super lame.
Yeah.
Like that's what it comes down to is like, yeah, they've got all these kills, but then like it's like they wrote the script and it's like, all right, and then we've got a kill here. Like that's what I did when we were doing for Killer
They don't
Hook.
describe the kill. We're just like, okay, he dies here.
He dies here.
And then when it's time to like storyboard and art direction and special effects, like,
well, how did he do it?
yeah,
Because that was one of the
skipped that meeting.
When we were planning out the kills for Killer Hook, it was like that was like a big part of it. It's like, all right, these are the things we figured out really early so that our special effects artist, Matt Barrett of Gilly Bear Films, boom, big shout out there. I know he listens to the podcast. And Delaney.
Friend of the show.
Delaney Gillis.
Can actually mean something now.
Yeah, that's for true. Delaney and Matt fucking saved my ass so much. And they bring it to the next level. Anyway, but those kills were set and those were built and those were ready. Those
I think like
those didn't really change.
Those like you said, I don't know what we did is standard procedure.
I don't know if it's standard procedure, but it worked
set
better for us.
You set the kills and it was their project. It was their thing to make awesome.
Yeah.
In this movie, the kills are just
they're there.
No one else had any hand in it besides let's throw some blood in there.
Yeah, and that's really what it feels like. Where it's like, yeah, throw some blood on them, they'll be dead for sure. And you know,
I will say the use of blood is good.
Yeah, the use of blood is good. It's a good color. It looks fine. But I mean, it's just there's so many more ways. Like if you're gonna blow your budget on a bunch of because if you're gonna blow your budget because you want to have a bunch of kills, and they're all boring kills, rethink it and have 3 interesting kills.
Yeah.
You know? Have 3 interesting kills and have 3 animatronics to do the interest like cuz then and then like if you only have let's say you have 5 animatronics.
Rarely movies that like Jaws it or Ex Machina or like do the gimmick really well on a small scale. Like those movies are usually really good.
Yeah.
More often good than not.
Because the thing that's with Jaws is like the kill isn't the scary thing.
Yeah.
It's the tension building up to the kill that's the scary thing. Because he's a shark, he's going to eat you.
Alien even.
Yeah. Well, and that's a interesting thing in this where you know that again is not necessarily needed to be explained.
Mm-hmm.
But they're animatronics. They obviously don't have internal organs or teeth or stuff like that to eat. What if like because they're doing this nibbling thing?
Yeah, they make it about them needing to eat. Literally about them having to eat, and it's like they don't. Why do they need to eat?
Well, what do they? But it's like
it's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice, but it's also like, what if the way that like maybe they, like literally, and again, I did a lot of research when we did the Five Nights at Freddy's thing a long time ago, but it's like, what if for this, it's like they need the bodies to be dead, and then they need like a human caretaker to shove them into like a big slurry machine so that then they can like help lubricate their pneumatic tubes or whatever.
Yeah.
Something like that, where it's like, because then the kills can be much more interesting rather than like, oh, they're dead and they're doing a little munch on them with their fake mouths.
Yeah.
Their little fake mouths that don't swallow anything.
I think like in the end it was a movie that they had $5 million and they made it smart.
Yeah.
And they made it smartly in a big way. Like they obviously could have still made it smart on that same budget and done the Jaws thing with fewer monsters and made them better. But I think they knew what they wanted to do in the end, and I think they did it.
And I think that's what disappoints me the most.
Yeah.
And I also hate to say all of this because the obvious criticism of me saying any of this is like, hey Patrick, have you made a feature length movie starring Nick Cage? What do you know about the trials and tribulations of that? Fuck you. And I get that. You know, so there I am undercutting my own thing or whatever.
Of all the movies we've watched, this one feels the most familiar in terms of making it.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's definitely,
like
well,
it feels the most similar, not just because we made a FNAF one, but to all our productions, it feels the most familiar.
And maybe that's why I feel so offended by it, because this is very much like, see, in that fucking scene, he just moves his neck. The effect doesn't move at all.
Yeah.
You know? But this is my bread and butter, baby. I fucking love this fucking over the top, like.
Let's fight.
Shit. I gotta go take my break. But it's like, that's
He's so awkward about it. He gives her the knife.
That's why, to me, I feel let down. It does, because I can absolutely see us very much mimicking what they did in this like Atlanta warehouse.
Yeah.
And then like that's one of the things that disappointed me is I lost my train of thought because she gets the knife and they immediately get rid of it because they didn't want to do
the movie instead of
they didn't want to do any choreography with the knife.
Yeah, the way the choreography on that with the Liv and the chameleon is particularly bad. Like just it's just bad. But I think you gotta play the outro music here. And so what are your final thoughts?
I mean, my final thoughts are incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
Incredibly disappointing. There's a lot of promise here, and it just doesn't deliver, and it doesn't give me what I want.
What do you give it?
I give it 1.5. I was talking. I wrote two, but now I give it 1.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Punch Pop soda cans.
Nice. I gave it 3 pizzas out of 5.
Okay.
It's a pretty high score. It's a good. It's pretty much the good.
Yeah.
And I just had a good time. It was a pretty simple movie that entertained me.
Yeah.
And it's not. I don't give it the 3 stars because it was good. It just simply entertained me.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of. I'm gonna go rewrite this movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go write a different version.
We'll make it
of this
in
movie.
the now abandoned Chuck E. Cheese one only editor.
Have you before we? Is there anything you've been watching?
I watched the Cinderella with
Oh.
Whitney Houston.
Oh, okay.
That just came out on Disney Plus, and I watched Beauty and the Beast.
With Brandy, right?
Yeah, Brandy.
Brandy and Whitney
yeah.
Houston was a fairy godmother.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember. Back
Whitney
in the day.
Houston is probably one of the most beautiful people
Yeah, man.
I've seen. I only visualize Whitney Houston in my head as the older Whitney, which is so pretty lady, but
Yeah.
in her prime, wow.
You're like, oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
I had that. I remember I watched Basic Instinct a while ago, and I was like, man, Sharon Stone. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I had that with from the Mary Poppins.
Julie Andrews.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I only had seen her in the
Oh,
Anne Hathaway
fucking
movie.
talking about Julie Andrews. Christopher Plummer, R.I.P. just died. Sound of
really?
Music.
Jeez.
Sound of Music. I remember, you see Sound of Music early, and then you realize who Christopher Plummer is, and you see him in other stuff, and then you're like, holy shit, that was Christopher Plummer? And you're like, damn, Christopher Plummer fucking brought it.
Yeah.
That's fun. Huh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off
No,
because
you're
I was thinking about Whitney Houston.
I think those are what I've watched. There might be one more in there, but
I
and then
watched
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Great film. Those films are always fun too because they're short, so you kind of
the animated version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are fun. Those are so good. Hercules is a fucking
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking I'm gonna watch a fucking animated movie tonight.
Oh yeah.
But I watched Barb and Star Visit Del Mar. Go to Vista Del Mar. It's a Kristen Wiig movie. That was there were a bunch of movies that came out on February 12th.
Huh.
But oh my gosh, dude, Barb and Star is my new. It's like
So it's good.
it's so good. I can't.
Where can you watch it?
You can watch it anywhere you can rent movies because it's one of those things
Okay.
where it's like
Should have been in theaters.
it should have been in theaters.
Yeah.
I rented it off Amazon. I think I have it for tonight, and I'm gonna try and watch it again.
I think so too because it said 19 hours when I started it.
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
started it yesterday morning.
I also watched this. I'm still watching The Sopranos.
Nice.
I fucking love that show, even though I think that it makes me angry.
Mm.
It's
get
like
to
one
a
of those
point?
things where it's like South Park, like makes me mean and cynical.
Oh,
And I feel
yeah.
like The Sopranos is like it makes me angry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also watched the pilot episode, I guess, of Raised by Wolves, which was Ridley Scott's like HBO Max thing.
Huh.
That was really weird and like unsettling, and I'm not sure if I liked it or if I'll watch a second episode, but maybe I will because maybe I liked it.
Well,
That's a hard.
I'll say I am enjoying WandaVision.
I
Forgot to
fucking
mention
love
that.
WandaVision.
That is really good, and I think we should talk about it
Yeah.
when that's over, when
Yeah.
the season's over.
Oh, for sure. Oh man.
Yeah, that's
Willy's
Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland. You know, I feel bad because I feel like on paper this is a movie that's like, fuck yeah, this is a slam dunk. But you know, I can't give it that 3 stars because
I mean, if you have any inkling of interest in video games / particularly Five Nights at Freddy's, you'll enjoy it. But you're gonna.
I still think it's fun, and I'd still watch it again with my friends.
Yeah.
But I don't. It just doesn't hit right for me.
Have you heard of the movie Mac and Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, oh, that'd be a fun movie to watch with friends.
On that note, as they say in Hayesville, yeah, you're gonna need that $1,000 upfront cash, otherwise we're gonna sacrifice you to fucking animatronic serial killers because we're too scared to fight them ourselves. Hit us up on Twitter. I love you.